I turn my back for 2 seconds and Bjorn starts giving away all of our secrets and talking about how much money we made. But what he left out is how much it actually cost us and what went wrong. Hey, I'm Merina. Some say the better half of Two Makers Crew. In this video, I'm going to break down the real numbers, the mess behind the scenes, and what it actually took to survive that first year. Then I'll walk you through how I design a unique tray because let's be honest, if you're going to pay off your CNC, you're going to need to know how to do that too. This should go without saying, but good tools make a huge difference. And we didn't start with any. When we started, we bought the cheapest tools because that's what we could afford, but then they would only last a couple of weeks. Bjorn was out in the shop full time figuring out exactly what we needed, and we were reinvesting all of the money the business brought in. Things changed when I stepped into the shop. I have asthma, and the 2 inches of dust on everything gave me nightmares. So my first move, a respirator, and to remind Bjorn to wear his. Then we upgraded our dust collection and added an air filter for the shop. That was just step one. By this point, we were making money, but our profit margins, not great. We had budgeted 25% for material, 25% for marketing, 25% for shipping, which left 25% for profit. But we weren't paying ourselves yet. We started offering product sets. So instead of selling one tray, we would bundle 3 together. That meant more money per sale, but the cost of shipping barely changed, which meant more money in our pocket. Then we started buying walnut in bulk. That cut our material costs dramatically. We found a supplier who would freight full pallets right to our front door. We also structured our ad spend around our actual output. $200 a day in ads would bring in about $800 a day in sales, which is actually what we could produce in a day. Eventually, we realized if we wanted to scale, we would need a second CNC. But our shop only had one outlet and it was maxed. Between the dust collection, the router, the CNC, we were running the whole shop on fumes. So we hired an electrician to install a new panel and some new outlets. Then we bought duplicates of everything. Bjorn built bunk beds for the CNCs. Seriously. It was not ideal because he had to spend half the day on the floor, but for the time being, it worked. Around this time, we hit a wall. We were full on zombie mode. Everything was working, but we knew we couldn't keep it up. So we made a deal. Push hard until the end of the year, and then after that, fix what wasn't working. More money now meant more time and space to reset in year 2. We also shifted how we were using social media. It stopped being a business account and became a place to vent and connect and have fun. We met amazing makers and found a real community there. It saved us mentally, even if it did mess up our ads, but that's for another video. We ran our ads until December 15th, thinking the year was over, but the orders kept coming and we just wanted them to stop. When the dust finally settled, literally, we had done $250,000 in sales. And our profit was about $68,000, which, let's be honest, isn't great for a year of 2 people working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. But we had upgraded almost every piece of equipment. We had 2 CNCs and we were set up for a better year 2. Now, if you're just getting started or trying to pay off your CNC, let me show you how I design a unique tray that's easy to make and even easier to sell. This is the exact kind of product that helped us break even fast. So let's make something together. So today we're going to use VCarve and make a custom catch-all tray for my dad for Father's Day. He loves fishing, and last night I was sitting on the couch and drawing on the iPad. So let's start a new file, and then I'll import my image. So let's grab the Trace Bitmap tool. We're going to make sure it's just selecting the black and white, and hit Preview and Apply. Now we can select and erase our original image, so we're just left with the lines. So we're just going to resize it a bit. And one thing to note, when you import an image and then trace it, it leaves a ton of little nodes. So what we're going to do is select all those lines, and then we're going to click Fit Curves to Vector. We'll use a Bezier curve, and then just remove all those extra nodes. The reason we want simpler lines is because your CNC has to follow every one of those nodes. So the less paths it has to take, the more efficient it can run. So now we're just going to simplify this a bit. I don't want any of these hard corners for my bit to get into, so we're going to make it a bit easier.
We're just going to get rid of these little points and then round out anything that leaves too hard of an edge. So now we're going to add our clearance path. We're going to select our outside line and then add an offset vector. So for this step, we're going to add a pocket toolpath and we're going to take off 0.2 inches of material. We're using a 1/2 inch end mill with a 40% step over, and because we're not taking off very much material, we can crank up the speed. Next, let's take out the pocket material. We're going to add another offset vector here, this time inward, so that it removes all the hard edges. So now we're going to select that pocket. Choose a pocket toolpath with a starting depth of 0.02 inches after our clearance. We're going to make it 0.6 inches deep with a 40% step over. We're using that same 1/2 inch end mill, but lower the speed. Now we don't want any step over lines in the bottom of this tray. It's going to have some weird edges and be really hard to sand in there. So we're going to add another pocket toolpath, this time starting at 0.62 inches with a cut depth of 0.02 inches. We'll make sure to lower the step over to 10% and we can crank up the speed again. Now it's time to VCarve. Select all those detail lines and we're going to choose a VCarve toolpath. We want our starting depth at 0.2 inches with a flat depth of 0.11 inches. Now, because there are some bigger areas to carve, we also added a clearance tool. We've chosen an 1/8 of an inch end mill. All that's left is to cut the exterior. So select the outside line and select the profile toolpath. The cut depth will be as thick as your material. So there it is, a custom tray for my dad from a simple drawing that I made on the iPad. Now this is usually the stage where I find flaws. I don't love that gap between the pole and the fish. So let's throw some text in there. We'll grab the text tool and I'm going to add a Happy Father's Day message. I'm just going to move them around until they fit the space and I'm happy with it. And there it is. My dad's going to love it. That's a tray I designed for my dad this Father's Day. Simple, personal, and totally unique. But this wasn't about making a unique tray. This is about showing you how important it is to be able to design something custom, quickly, especially when you're trying to grow a product line or pay off your CNC. Because here's the reality. When you can design and carve trays like this on demand, based on someone's hobby, a holiday, a pop culture trend, you suddenly have a huge advantage. You're not waiting for trends to pass you by, you're able to respond to them. In this case, we were targeting Father's Day, and within that one holiday, there are dozens of mini niches. Dads who fish, dads who golf, dads who barbecue, fix cars, love music, collect tools, you name it. If you only launch one product, you're hoping to find someone who wants that exact thing. But if you can pull out 5, 10, or even 15 versions that each speak to that kind of dad, you massively increase your odds of success. That's the strategy that worked for us in our first year. The truth is, we didn't know what tray was going to take off. So we made a bunch of them, and some were hits, but some totally flopped. And that's okay, because the more darts that you throw, the more likely you are to hit something that sticks. And when you pair that experimentation with something like a CNC and something like VCarve that lets you take a hand-drawn idea and that same day turn it into something physical, that's a game changer. You don't need to be a trained designer and you don't need to have a full production team. You just need an idea, a pencil, and a willingness to test stuff. And as always, we've added this project file to our website. You can purchase it, modify it, sell it, or just make it for your own dad. If you make your own version, tag us. We seriously love seeing what people are creating from these tutorials. And if you're stuck on a tray idea, drop us a comment or send us a DM. We're always happy to help. Thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and happy making. Hey, make this.